Good evening and a very warm welcome to the Kenya Defence Forces Weekly Bulletin, your trusted source for weekly updates on defence activities, from operational highlights to the latest developments at the Ministry of Defence. I am Sergeant Patience Asambo, and here are our top stories for tonight. Malaysian Prime Minister lays wreath at Uhuru Gardens. Chief of Defence Forces presides over Formation Commanders Conference. Ministry of Defence partners with U.S. Liaison Office for training. General Service Officer graduate cadet candidates report at Kenya Military Academy as recruits gear up for training at Defence Forces Recruits Training School. And in sports, Chief of Defence Forces lead participants in annual Golf Cup. We begin with our first story for tonight, where the Prime Minister of Malaysia, Dato Seri Anwar Ibrahim, paid a solemn tribute to Kenya's fallen soldiers during a state visit to the country. He visited the Uhuru Gardens National Monument and Museum in Nairobi, where he was received by Commander Kenya Army Lieutenant General David Keter. Take a look.
Escorted by the Cabinet Secretary for Youth Affairs, Creative Economy and Sports, Honorable Salim Mvurya, the Prime Minister laid a wreath at the tomb of the unknown warriors as a symbol of respect and solidarity. A minute of silence was observed to honor those who made the ultimate sacrifice in service to the nation. The ceremony, attended by the Malaysian delegation and senior Kenya Defence Forces officers, highlights the strong bilateral ties between Kenya and Malaysia. Earlier, the Prime Minister had paid a courtesy call to His Excellency, the President and Commander-in-Chief of the Kenya Defence Forces, Dr. William Samoei Ruto, at State House, Nairobi, where he was accorded full military honors.
On to matters strategy, the Chief of the Defence Forces, General Charles Kahariri, presided over the Formation Commanders Conference held in Nairobi. The high-level meeting brought together commanders from all Kenya Defence Forces formations and services to review operational readiness and outline strategic priorities aligned with Kenya Defence Forces' mandate.
The commanders emphasized the need to embrace this year's theme, investing in human capital for professional and adaptive force, while integrating emerging technologies to ensure the military remains agile and mission-capable in both local and regional operations. A keynote address supporting the theme was delivered by Dr. Paul Russo, the Group Chief Executive Officer of KCB Group, followed by a panel discussion on selective thematic areas. During the sessions, commanders presented detailed assessments of their formations, highlighting achievements and emerging challenges. The discussions emphasized the importance of continuous adaptation to evolving threats and leveraging modern technology to enhance operational efficiency.
The Ministry of Defence has partnered with the Kenya United States Liaison Office and the Institute for Security Governance to conduct a workforce development workshop for civilian staff. The 4-day workshop held at the Defence Headquarters targeted deputy heads of departments. Our reporter has more on this story.
Representing the Principal Secretary, Mr. Isaac Masinde, the Defence Secretary for Administration, noted that the partnership is timely for strengthening bilateral relations and driving institutional reform. The workshop focused on workforce planning, organizational reform, and adaptive leadership, aiming to build an integrated defense civilian workforce capable of navigating complex security environments.
The National Defence College delegation, led by the Commandant Lieutenant General Juma Sheh Munyikai, conducted extensive educational visits to Defence Headquarters, Kenya Army Headquarters, and Kenya Air Force Headquarters this week. The visits provided course participants, including 88 senior officers from 16 countries, with an in-depth understanding of Kenya's strategic defence framework.
At Defence Headquarters, Honorable Soipan Tuya, the Cabinet Secretary for Defence, graced the occasion and highlighted the role of the National Defence University Kenya in equipping officers to address regional and global security challenges.
The programs within NDC, but of course our institutions of learning, military institutions and the National Defence University College, the constituent colleges, and the interaction between the Kenyan participants and those from allied countries is very crucial.
Lieutenant General John Omenda, the Vice Chief of the Defence Forces, encouraged participants to sharpen their intellectual capabilities, noting that intellect and diplomacy must guide defence leadership. Later, at Kenya Army Headquarters, the commander, Lieutenant General David Keter, briefed the delegation on the Army's role in national and regional stability, calling for a whole-of-society approach to modern threats. Similarly, at the Kenya Air Force, Major General Bernard Waliaula immersed participants in the mandate of air power in contemporary security theaters. The visits underscore the value of strategic-level training for future defense leaders.
On to matters of modernization, Major General Bernard Waliaula, the Commander Kenya Air Force, participated in the Dubai Air Show 2025, joining global leaders and aviation experts for high-level discussions. His presence highlighted Kenya's commitment to strengthening air operations and embracing new advancements in aviation.
Major General Waliaula attended the Air Chiefs Conference, which brought together representatives from over 80 countries to share insights on the future of air power. During the event, the commander held discussions with international delegations on aviation safety, training, and emerging technologies. He also visited exhibition stands to inspect advanced aircraft systems, aiming to strengthen international ties and support the development of a modern and capable Kenya Air Force.
We shift focus to recruitment, where the Kenya Defence Forces recruitment drive has entered a critical phase, with shortlisted General Service Officer graduate cadet candidates reporting for assessment at the Kenya Military Academy, while successful general duty recruits have officially begun the training in Eldoret. The event marks significant milestones in the effort to bolster the force with disciplined and qualified personnel. Here is an update on the exercise.
At Kenya Military Academy, Brigadier Samuel Kimani, the Chief Recruiting Officer, received the shortlisted General Service Officer graduate cadet candidates for document verification and competency interviews. He emphasized that the selection process is the first phase in molding capable future military leaders and warned that the exercise will be conducted with strict adherence to fairness and transparency.
Therefore, the selection we are just about to start is very competitive, it's demanding, and a noble one. From among us, you who are seated here, we have as future Chief of Defence Force.
Brigadier Alphonse Ndar, the Chief Coordinator, reinforced this message, stating that the Kenya Defence Forces will not tolerate any recruitment malpractice and urged candidates to report any incidents immediately. Meanwhile, at the Defence Forces Recruits Training School in Eldoret, a new cohort of recruits was officially handed over to begin their 6-month foundational training. Brigadier Kimani highlighted the zero-tolerance policy on drug use before handing over the list of successful candidates. Brigadier Peter Kimondiu, the commandant of the school, welcomed the recruits and outlined the critical stages of their training journey, which include break-in, construction, and consolidation.
We take a short break. Don't go far. We'll be back in a moment.
From the vast grazing fields to your plate, Kenya Meat Commission is your trusted source for premium quality meat products. With over 70 years of experience, KMC upholds the highest standards in meat processing, ensuring fresh, safe, and nutritious products for households across Kenya. Supplying excellence, KMC guarantees top-tier beef, mutton, and canned meat, meeting your needs with consistency and quality. Looking for the best in meat? Choose Kenya Meat Commission, where quality meets trust.
Welcome back. Wajir Air Base has concluded its annual Safety Week, a program dedicated to enhancing security and aviation safety awareness under the theme Safety Without Compromise. The event brought together various agencies to share expertise on best practices.
Opened by the 4th Brigade Commander and the Base Commander Wajir Air Base, the week-long program covered critical topics including aviation security, mental health, and disaster response. Partners such as the Kenya Civil Aviation Authority, the National Counter-Terrorism Center, the Kenya Wildlife Service, and the Kenya Red Cross facilitated sessions aimed at mitigating risks and maintaining the highest standards of safety.
Beyond our borders, troops from the Kenya Quick Reaction Force serving under the United Nations mission in the Democratic Republic of Congo have inaugurated 2 new classrooms at the Institut Eringeti in Beni Territory. The project aims to improve access to education and rebuild trust in an area affected by insecurity.
Spearheaded by the contingent commander, Lieutenant Colonel Simon Seda, the soldiers worked side by side with the local community to construct the facility. Local leaders and the school administration hailed the project as a lifeline that will restore dignity to learners and boost enrollment. The troops also donated backpacks to students, reinforcing the message that education is a pillar of peace.
Moving on, Warrant Officer Class 1 Bwana Haji Omar, the Kenya Defense Forces Sergeant Major, represented Kenya at the United States Africa Command Change of Responsibility ceremony in Stuttgart, Germany. The invitation marks a significant milestone for Kenya's warrant officer leadership on the global stage.
The ceremony marked the transition of responsibility from Sergeant Major Michael Woods to Command Sergeant Major Garrick Banfield. Warrant Officer Class 1 Haji was one of the only 2 non-commissioned officers from Africa invited, reflecting the high regard in which Kenya's non-commissioned officer corps is held internationally. During the visit, he held discussion with the newly appointed U.S. AFRICOM Sergeant Major on issues of mutual concern. The engagement highlights the enduring strategic partnership between the military establishments of Kenya and the United States.
And in sports, General Charles Kahariri, the Chief of the Defense Forces, led participants in the Chief of Defense Forces Golf Club held at the Diamonds Leisure Beach and Golf Resort in Kwale County. The annual tournament, organized by the Kenya Defense Forces Golf Association, brought together military personnel and civilian partners to strengthen unity and promote physical fitness.
General Kahariri applauded the players, noting that such events reinforce discipline and offer a refreshing break from military duties. He expressed gratitude to the sponsors and partners for their contribution to the tournament's success. Among the notable winners were Major Kenyanjui, the overall Kenya Defense Forces Golf Association champion, Major Joel Mochanga, Division A winner, Senior Sapper, Abraham Lokatam, Division B winner, Constable 2 Doris Wangari, the ladies champion, and Mr. William Odek, the elite amateur winner. Brigadier retired Lawrence Gituma claimed the veterans title, while Ambassador Dr. Monica Juma emerged the top winner in the sponsors category.
The Ulinzi Judo team delivered an exceptional performance at the National Judo League held in Kilifi County, finishing 2nd overall behind Kenya Prisons. The team competed against 11 top national clubs, showcasing their prowess on the mat.
Notable victories were secured by Corporal Kelvin Munangwe and civilian Judith Akinyi, who clinched first place in their respective categories. The team remains committed to intense training as they prepare for upcoming matches, intent on securing a top finish in the league.
And lastly, Kenyan peacekeepers serving under the United Nations mission in the Democratic Republic of Congo have demonstrated exceptional physical prowess by winning the MONUSCO Power Circuit. The Kenya Signal Company 3 emerged top in the ultimate endurance event held in the eastern DRC.
Operating under the theme Endure, Perform, Dominate, the competition brought together 9 teams from various military contingents. Participants faced a demanding circuit comprising a 4.8-kilometer run, followed by intense calisthenics designed to test stamina and teamwork. The Kenyan troops secured first place overall, reinforcing the country's reputation for discipline in peace support operations. Individual accolades went to Captain Simon Watea, who was the best performer in sit-ups, and Corporal Isaac Osanya, who claimed top honors in the side jump category.
Well, that's it for tonight. Thank you for watching. We look forward to your feedback via our official social media platforms and your continued viewership next week on the Kenya Defence Forces Weekly Bulletin. I am Sergeant Patience Asambu. Goodbye.